Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode 11. She's actually the only child too, and we've been family friends since freshman year of high school.
Said, I am an only child. I actually enjoyed being an only child. I mean, there are definitely parts of my life where I felt like I was like a little lonely, but in the end, I think it made up for it. I enjoy being an only child. I love my family. I'm so close to my family, my mom and dad.
I didn't have actual relationship with them, you know, so not until I got to college, so it was crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I want to welcome ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to episode 11 to On the Rise podcast. We're on episode 11, and today's title is God Still Faithful? And I have a special guest here with me today, and low-key, this is take two. I ain't gonna lie, but this is take two, y'all. It's okay. But this special guest, she was born 1 pound and 4.5 ounces. She has had open heart surgery, which we'll get to later. And she is actually the only child too. And we've been family friends since freshman year of high school. So I want to welcome Hannah Irby.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
Yeah, sorry about this. Is take two.
It's okay. It's okay.
So the first time was kind of more raw version, but it's okay. This is also gonna be raw. So, but so Hannah, thank you again, first of all, for coming on the pod. This is episode 11. Is God Still Faithful? I feel like that ties into your testimony pretty well.
Yes.
But I just want to say thank you again for coming. I know you're busy as well as a busy week. It's Christmas time, you know, it's all that vibe. So, but before we get into, I have 3 questions for you and for your testimony and stuff. The first one is, what was your life like before you met Jesus? Tell us about meeting Jesus, and what has life been like since you met Jesus? But before we get into those questions, I want to know more about your family, your background, kind of since you've been born to now, I guess, you know, and what your parents do. Are you close with your family? Are you not? So, yeah, you're gonna do most of the talking today.
Okay.
And yeah, thank you again. Sorry, guys, it's take 2. So, but we're gonna ignore that part. So,
okay.
Let's get it. Hannah, you're up. So.
Yes. So, like John said, I am an only child. I actually enjoyed being an only child. I mean, there are definitely parts of my life where I felt like I was a little lonely, but in the end, I think it made up for it. I enjoy being an only child. I love my family. I'm so close to my family, my mom and dad, my extended family too. I'm close to a lot of my aunts and uncles and cousins, and both of my parents come from really big families, and so being able to see my cousins at Christmas or my aunts and uncles at Thanksgiving and just different things like that has been really sweet. And I'm glad to say that I'm so blessed to have a family that is actually close with one another. We actually like being around each other.
Yeah, that's actually so rare now.
Yes.
Everyone's family got some sort of beef or you know what I'm saying? It's that vibe. And some people don't even see their uncles and aunts.
Right.
Which I feel for those families too. And I'm kind of like you as well. You know, I'm very close to my extended family, to my immediate family as well. And you know, it's a blessing for sure. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm for sure close with all my uncles and aunts. So, and they help me out a lot throughout different seasons in my life. So, but what are your? So you are the only child, right? So that's actually crazy. I don't think I could have done. I grew up with a sister, so it made things more fun. Were you ever lonely, or did you kind of have friends, or what was your thing?
I would say there were a few times. I feel like that's the number one question I get asked when I tell people I'm an only child is, did you get lonely? And sometimes, honestly, I would say the majority of the time I loved being by myself, if that makes sense. Like I got comfortable being by myself.
Yeah.
And so I guess being an only child didn't really hit me until people started asking about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or like, are you lonely? Like, is it weird?
Are you okay?
Like, what's it like? Yeah, really. Like,
What's going on?
I'm like, yes
I'm
to all
fine.
of those. I am okay. I love being an only child. Wouldn't trade it for the world.
Wow.
Like I have family that's close. Don't worry. I'm not just like
You're not
myself.
weird or anything.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all weird though in our own ways.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not a little bit weird, then you're not cool, in my opinion. So that's cool. So what do your like parents do like for like a living and all that stuff?
Yes. So my mom is a mentor at our church, and then she also stays at home. And then my dad owns his own cell tower business.
That's
company.
actually cool.
Yes.
Dang, I didn't know that was a business. So
Yes.
there's a business for everything now. It's crazy.
Exactly.
That's cool. How do they meet?
You know, that's a great question. So they're both from Mississippi, and so they were both born and raised in Mississippi. I was the only one born in Texas and born and raised in Texas. And so I think they met through my mom's cousin, if I'm not mistaken. And at first, I don't think my mom liked my dad.
Wow, that's crazy. You're like, nah. You gotta test the waters. You know what I'm saying? It's like that.
And then somehow, some way,
God
by
made it
God's
happen.
goodness and grace, He put them together and made it happen. And I'm honestly just so grateful for them.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're close with all your family. It sounds like that's good, just like me. And I feel like we have similar backgrounds, which is what I kind of know from you, right? So what was your like schooling like? Because for those of you who don't know, me and Hannah, I guess you can say we got reunited at college, but we also went to the same high school freshman year. We'll talk about that in a minute. That was the year, but I feel like we both kind of struggled, like just like academically a little bit, which is how we relate as well. But so I guess you want to kind of take me through a little bit like your schooling, a little bit like in as little time as possible, if you can.
Yes. So pre-K through 7th grade, I was in private school, and then 8th grade was my only year in public school. 9th grade was back to private school, and then 10th through 12th grade was online school, homeschool.
Oh wow! So you did homeschool.
Yes.
So that's crazy. Did you like it or like?
Honestly, I loved it. Like I feel like I guess at that time a lot of people looked down on it, but I think now it's growing a lot more popular. Just like with everything going on in schools and just different things of that nature. But honestly, I enjoyed it. Like I had a lot of, I guess you'd say, free time in a way. Like obviously I was still working. Still doing my homework, still working. But I enjoyed it really. Like I felt my relationship with the Lord grow a lot more when, for some reason, I was at home. And I think maybe that's because growing up home, my parents made home like a safe place for me to be.
Yeah.
Like I would always love being at home, or like consider myself a homebody. Like I would rather be on the couch and eating some popcorn, watching a good movie than like going out.
I'm more like that too, but I love being around people too. I'm strict on the middle, so that's cool. Personally, I was homeschooled actually 3rd grade.
Okay.
I did not like it. That's just my personal experience.
It's okay. It's not for everyone.
I think I had a harder mom, growing up. So, the Mexican moms, they can be kind of, tough on their children and stuff. So, but overall, it was cool. I mean, for like the first, I think I was homeschooled 3rd and 4th grade. I might be wrong with that, but so that's cool. So that was kind of your, I guess, upbringing, you could say. So you did homeschool 10th through 12th, right? And then 8th grade, you went to public school. Did you like public school?
It was.
I never went to public school, so I don't know what it's like.
It was not for me. That was one of the hardest schooling years and also life years. I think I'd ever had.
Because we're going to get into that in a minute, I guess, in your testimony, right?
And so that year was pretty hard. There was definitely some good there, for sure, but it was a really tough year, for sure.
That's good. So I guess we can kind of get into the questions because I want to know more about that too, like just like your testimony in general and stuff like that. So what was your life like before you met Jesus?
So I gave my life to Jesus when I was 4 years old. So
at a young age.
Yes. And so personally, I don't really know what it was like before I met Jesus because I was so young. But I'm sure, I mean, as everyone is living in sin, you know, before you meet Jesus. And I wish I could be like, this is specifically how I was before I met Jesus, but I don't know. But my mom said that I came up to her one day and just said, "Mommy, I want Jesus in my heart." And ever since then, I've just been walking with the Lord.
Moms will remember.
Yes.
They remember everything.
For sure.
Everything. That's how my mom was. So, but that's cool. So kind of like me, I was, I grew up at a young age, or I was Christian at a very young age too, I just grew up with a Christian family, so which I'm very thankful and blessed. There's a lot of people don't have that, so they had to figure out God on their own or whatever. So
exactly.
So that's kind of you were, I guess, before you met Jesus, right? Tell us about actually meeting him, his relation, your relationship with God, and how did you grow and stuff like that.
Yes, so I would say throughout my life, and just things that I have noticed about the Lord's character is his faithfulness. And I think that is honestly the word that his faithfulness and his goodness are two things that I can definitely attest to in my life that he's done or that I've seen or that he's shown me through other people or what I've learned throughout my life is just how faithful and good he is. Even if it doesn't seem like life is going good. The Lord is still good and he's still faithful. Yeah,
so you would say he is still, even in 2024, I guess there's a lot of bad things, good things are happening too.
Right.
But a lot of people I feel are questioning God, is he still faithful? So you would say yes. And I would say he is for sure. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever, right? It's in the Bible, y'all. I don't know where exactly it is, but go look it up. But but he is definitely still faithful. He's helped my family out through so much because as you know, my mom passed away, right? And so she's just helped us out so much with that. And I think that's ever since then I've gone really close with God, I feel or better. And I'm still not perfect. That's the main thing on this podcast. We're not perfect, but we're trying to apply everything right to becoming the best Christian we can. So that's cool. So what I guess what has life been like since you met Jesus? And you can tie into your testimony and do all of that in one, I guess, in one big thing.
For sure. So like I said, I was born in Dallas, but I was born
and raised.
Yes.
Dallas.
For sure. I was born premature, so I was 1 pound and 4.5 ounces. And although I do not remember any of that, my mom does. And so she can attest to the Lord's faithfulness and goodness at that point in my life. And I honestly am just so grateful for the Lord and what he's already done and how he's sustained my life. And honestly, he's just kept me all the way through, honestly. And even being able to say that at 22 years old, I feel like I'm still young. So I'm
you're still young. I'm actually 1 year older than you. I didn't even realize that.
Really?
I'm 23. I'm older than you. Anyways, you have to look up to me.
I do, because also I'm shorter than you. So.
Yeah, guys, so he's 5 foot. I don't know. What's your height?
5'2", I think.
That's crazy. I'm 6'6", for those of you who don't know. You feel me? No, honestly, that's part of my testimony too. I shouldn't be my height as well because I also had open heart surgery too, as you know. And I feel like that's where we relate a lot. But mine was two weeks like after I was born, so I didn't feel nothing. But what was yours like? Like, what was that? Tell me more about your open. So I want to know myself.
Yes. So at this time I was doing cheerleading. I was a competitive cheerleader, and I remember feeling very tired, weak, out of breath, but I knew it was something deeper than having asthma. And so I honestly, it was probably the Holy Spirit within me just like, hey, like something's wrong, like there's a deeper issue here. And I remember I was in cheer practice one day and he had us doing back walkover, back handspring, but then we had to do it several times where like everybody was on the same time and everybody was doing it correctly and nobody fell, and if someone fell we'd have to start all over. I don't know nothing about cheerleading, so I'm just gonna listen.
I'm a guy, y'all. So.
And so we were like running it like nonstop basically, and so I remember I was like, hey, is there a way like I can like go get a drink of water real quick? Like
they were like, no,
like right. Honestly, it was hard for me to be like, hey, can I please, like,
because you're kind of shy growing up too, right? So that's great.
I wouldn't have said anything, but I like needed help at that time. And I was like, I walked up to my mom and she said that my lips were blue and my face was pale. And she was like, are you okay? And I remember I told her, I remember I told her, I was like, honestly, like, I don't know what this is, but I'm like, if I don't get this checked out or if I don't figure out what this is, I think I'm just gonna like pass on out. And by pass on out, I meant like die, literally.
It's serious though.
Yeah, and I remember I was like, I don't know what this is, but I know it's deeper than asthma and I know there's something going on here. And so I went to the doctor, and she was like, yeah, I'm hearing some kind of like irregular heartbeat. I think they called it like an AFib. I think that's what like the medical
The heart's very complicated.
It is, but it's like so creatively designed by the Lord.
Yeah. Like, it's crazy. Yeah. That's how we live. So.
Yeah. And so she was like, yeah, I'm hearing like a heart murmur. And I was like, oh, okay. Like at this point in my life, I didn't know anything about the heart other than my previous doctors telling me I'm good. I was 15.
Yeah, you don't know nothing about the heart at 15?
Right.
That's crazy.
And so literally throughout my life, I have heard doctors say like your heart sounds great. Like every time I would go to the doctor, they'd be like, everything's good, like you're okay. And I'm like, okay, great. So when this doctor says I have an AFib and she thinks I need to go to the cardiologist, I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what is that? What's a cardiologist? And so I finally went to the cardiologist and they did a sonogram of my heart and an EKG. And then through those results, the cardiologist, she came in and she's like, I'm going to tell you something. You need to get open heart surgery.
Wow.
And
you actually felt it.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she was like, you need to get open heart surgery. And she was like, if you were my daughter, I would recommend getting open heart surgery. And I was like, okay. And my parents were shocked, but for some reason I was literally I can't even explain it. Like I had so much peace, but I can't even explain it because it was the peace that surpassed all understanding. And I just knew that this was something that the Lord wanted me to follow through with, and my parents let me make the decision on my own.
On your own?
Yes.
That's crazy. Yeah. I would have been like, Dad, like you make it. I don't know.
Actually, y'all can do it.
We're like totally opposite of that. That's crazy. I would
I'd
be like, you're making it. I don't want surgery though.
And so I prayed through it and I worshipped the Lord through it. And
so you knew God like really young, like you were pretty mature with him.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. And so I knew
I was still figuring out at that age. That's crazy.
Right.
I was just like going to church like for fun.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have like actual like relationship with him, you know. So not until like really I got to college. So it was crazy.
Yeah.
But anyways, continue.
Yeah. And so I knew that it was something that I needed to do. Like the Holy Spirit just kind of impressed it on my heart that this was something I needed to do, and I knew. You know, like when people are like, you just know.
You felt something.
You know when you know, kind of thing. It was just like that. And he just literally like covered me in his peace and showered me in his peace.
Wow.
And I went through the surgery and haven't had any complications since.
Really? Do you like still feel kind of tired, like when you're working out or like when you do sports?
I would say like now I know like my limits, like I guess like weights and everything. Like I know like when I'm like, okay, like that's enough. Like let's go to the 5 pounds or like 3 or something, you know? And so I've kind of known and like trained my body and like know to listen to my body, and that's obviously the Holy Spirit, like he'll be like, hey, like that's enough right there,
really?
Or like
that's
and so
crazy. I'm trying to get better, like how to like listen to God more and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe you can help me, you can teach me.
Yes.
I'm just trying to know that better for myself. That's another thing I'm trying to work on, being a Christian and stuff. So same with my doctor. They said like I can never do like max with weights. So if you know what that is, you know, like pushing to like the limit, like you can do, you know what I mean, with any type of weight. So I always do like lower amount of weights, you know, in the weight room, and then in sports, I mean, go I guess until you're tired, you know what I'm saying? Take a break, but so yeah, that's kind of how it with me. So that's cool. We both had open heart surgery, but you actually felt yours. Was it hard, like recovery, or like?
Surprisingly, it wasn't hard with recovery. I would say I did struggle a lot since I knew like what my body looked like before I had a scar in the middle of my chest.
Hey, me too. It's actually kind of safe though, like low key. I like it for a guy. I think it's cool. So
yes, and so it was harder for me to kind of come back into agreement with like the scar is a testament of the Lord's goodness and how far he's brought me and how far
it's a reminder.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and how far he's sustained me, and the fact that I'm still living and breathing and can share this right now, you know, and honestly.
It's your first pod too. That's what's up. No, that's cool that you kind of, you know, still give thanks to God, I guess, you know, and he's still helping you out to this day, and he's helping me out to this day, to everyone. So no matter like how far, I guess, it could be as the low of the low, you know, God is still like faithful. He's never like leave you, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I kind of titled this podcast too, is like, is God still faithful? And I think he is, especially in 2024. He needs to be here in 2024. There's a lot of crazy things that are happening, but which I want to talk about later on once I get more, you know, knowledge about it on this podcast. Would you say he's still, I guess, faithful in 20?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I think so. Yeah, which is good. So I kind of want to tell the people to like how we kind of met, right? Which was, do you want to explain it? You might be good at explaining.
Honestly, my memory doesn't go back that far.
Well, okay, so I'll kind of explain it. It doesn't either with mine. I don't even remember what I did yesterday, but no, so I think, so it was like freshman year of high school. We won't say the name of the school because it's just, I don't know, low key, it's still a school. But
I don't think so.
But it was cool while it lasted. It was a startup school in Frisco, Texas. For those of you who don't know, Frisco is like, I don't know, like 30 minutes away from Dallas, I guess, or maybe 45 minutes, an hour. But anyways, we were actually both in the same grade, and it was such a startup school that we were actually the only 2 people in our class, which is crazy.
The only 2 ninth graders.
Only 2 ninth graders in our class. That's how small of a school it was to start up. But you know, it was cool. I mean, I loved it. I loved history. Whenever the history was fire. I don't know why I was that kind of kid. I always like learning about like the history, just the world. I don't know why.
Same here.
Math was not my thing, and it still's not. But you know, I'm still trying to learn math. You know, and we had math together, science, like all these normal whatever freshman classes. But yeah, that's kind of how I knew Hannah. And then I don't know, like what happened like after that, because I feel like we're still kind of friends. You know, we still kind of kept in touch, I guess, a little bit, but I don't really know what happened to you, like, to be honest, like sophomore year through senior year, and like, and because we didn't get reunited till since I transferred in as a freshman at AC at Abilene Christians, I transferred in as a freshman.
Okay,
If that kind of makes sense to y'all, but so what kind of happened 10th through senior year?
So 10th grade, that was my first year doing homeschool, online school, and that was the year I had open heart surgery. So I like remember that a lot. And then let's see, 11th grade, I think I was serving at church.
Just
I'm
a
trying to
normal
remember.
year.
I'm like, what was I doing? That year was a little more normal.
Yeah.
The calm before the storm, I'd say.
Man, using Bible phrases here. No, for real though.
Because the following year, that's when literally everything shut down. COVID came, and we were all.
Yeah. Did you ever get the Rona?
No, I didn't.
Did your family or?
Praise the Lord. None of us. Did,
it was pretty serious. Did y'all ever get shots or no? I don't know.
Honestly,
what was y'all's vibe with that? Like, I don't know.
I honestly can't.
I know my family got shots, but my dad's office, I think, is like required or something.
Really?
It's crazy. Yeah, some offices like require it. So I think I had the Rona for 3 nights, and I just slept through it. So I was like, I think I have it, because I think later on, the reason why I know is because you get like some sort of test, like if you had it before or whatever, and so it said that I did. I think. I was like, oh, it's gotta be that one time, and back at freshman year of college, because freshman year I went to Pensacola Christian College because I was trying to walk on for basketball, but it was not God's plan. I should have made the team, but it was not God's plan. So, but anyways, so Corona was a crazy time. Yeah. And then, so why did you accept, I guess, like ACU, Abilene Christian University? So what were like your choices too for college?
Yes. So my first choice was actually Ouachita Baptist University in Arkansas.
What's in Arkansas?
Arkansas.
That's crazy.
The hot springs, the nature walks, the trails.
Wow, really outdoor life, huh?
Yes.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a city guy. I don't got too much outdoor life in me, but it's cool. I mess with it. Yeah. But
and then my second choice was Dallas Baptist University. And then my third choice was Abilene Christian.
Oh, it was your third choice. Dang.
It was number 3.
Why was it your third? And now you're come on, go Wildcats.
Yeah, really. Honestly, like I didn't know much about ACU. I'd never heard of it. Yeah. One of my mom's good friends, she was like, Hannah should apply, or like, I was like, okay.
You're like, no.
I'll think about it.
You're like, where is ACU?
Exactly. I was like, where is Abilene?
Nobody knows where Abilene is.
Right. The furthest west I knew was Lubbock, but I think everybody kind of knows.
A lot of people know what, I feel like because of Texas Tech. So Texas is a big D1 school. And they're D1, right? I think they're D1. Yeah.
That's a great question. I have no idea, actually.
I don't know. I've been there once or twice or something like that, but no, I mess with that school. It's cool. So that's kind of how you pick between those choices, I guess.
Yes.
DBU is a good school too. I was thinking about going to that school as well. And that was not in my top, but I think ACU was definitely up there for me. It was like the most money, but I thought it was like weird, like not considered cool if I went to the same school as like, when you're young. That's like your parents.
Got you.
But then afterwards, like, no, it's cool. Like, it's actually kind of cool to brag about. Not to brag, I don't promote bragging, y'all, but like low key, it's kind of cool. But yeah, like I said, like my whole family went to AC. Literally, my whole family went to AC. Like uncles, aunts, cousins. Yeah. Dad, mom. My dad and mom actually didn't meet there though. They met after college in Dallas. So, and my uncle was actually a big time All-American football player.
Oh, nice.
At AC, he has like his own little picture there at the walls.
Oh wait, that's so cool. Really?
He actually does.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
But he got injured a lot, so that's why he couldn't go to the league or anything. But
Gotcha.
He definitely could have. He was kind of a scary dude back then. He was, he's like, I gotta get him on the pod, my uncle Richard. So that'd be cool. He has a story too. But yeah, so that's cool. And then, yeah, I guess we just kind of reunited at ACU, you know.
Yes.
And what'd you major in? Because I know you graduated, right?
Yes.
Congrats, by the way. So you're finally done with school. It's crazy.
Kind of.
Well, you're still.
Kind of.
So what do you do? What are you doing now with school? And what do you major in?
So at ACU, I majored in youth and family ministry with a minor in communication. And then right now, I'm getting my master's in organizational leadership.
Wow, you're doing your math. I'm the 4 and 1. Actually, I'm doing the 4 years in 1 year and 5 years. So,
Got you.
Because I switched my major, so
Yeah.
I was kinesiology, and now I'm doing multimedia, minor in film.
Okay.
But I think just by me praying a lot of time with my dad, more I kind of want to go into the real estate route a little bit. I actually bought a course.
Oh, cool.
And so I'm trying to get my real estate license as well. I'm grinding, y'all. In your 20s, you got to grind, you feel me? That's the rule. But so that's what I'm doing as well. Did you always want to do youth and ministries, or did it take you a while to figure it out? Because it took me a long time to figure out what I'm still figuring it out.
Right. Yes, it was not my first choice. Growing up, I actually wanted to be a fashion designer.
Oh.
And I wanted to live in Paris.
What?
So that was my dream.
Fashion design's cool though.
Yeah.
I mess with that. Yeah.
And then that was like my, I guess, childhood dream, if that makes sense. And then I guess more towards high school, I wanted to be on Broadway. I wanted to do musical theater.
That's crazy.
And so I think the first
Broadway pulled up.
Yeah, really. And then I think the first musical that I ever saw on Broadway in Dallas, was The Lion King. So that was my first one.
I bet that was fire.
It was good.
Yeah, I'm not a big Broadway guy. So
Yeah.
but I mean, it's we went to New York for we went to New York for Thanksgiving. Right, it's not my second home because my sister lives there for business, and so she does business up there in Manhattan area. But we went to. What's it called? I think it's called the Rockettes.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't even know the
Radio
name.
City Rockettes.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what it was, y'all. But it was kind of cool. I kind of liked it, low key. But yeah, because I am still considering going to the movie industry, so I kind of have to like that, actors and Broadway. So I don't know. We'll see where I'm still praying about it too. I'm not saying real estate is where I'll go either, but it is an option for me too. So that's cool that you. So you go into the ministry, which is cool. You just kind of feel like
had a heart change for sure.
Yeah, you're pretty mature with God at a very young age. I feel like, which is I was not. I was still thinking, hey, it's okay. You know,
you still have time. It's
I got time. That's right. It's no rush with having a relationship with Him. He never leaves you. He can be at the very bottom.
Yeah.
And where none of us are perfect. That's the main thing. That I want to share with people on my podcast. We're not perfect. So,
right. Exactly.
But we're still gonna sin and everything. But so that's cool. So would you say that's kind of your main testimony? I guess is your open heart surgery, and then and you kind of grew more in a relationship with God, I guess, as you can say.
I would say for my open heart surgery, that experience, I had honestly the peace that surpassed all understanding. And I can say in that moment, because I have still to this day have never experienced anything like that since then.
Wow.
And it was kind of where you can just put a marker on your life, that that was a little pin drop.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of those.
Yes.
Wow.
And then my sophomore year was how the Lord called me into ministry. I remember I was walking around my house. This was my first year being homeschooled.
Were you in the attic, or where were you at?
No, I was kind of close to my dad's office and kind of our open foyer, our front door.
Because you love being at home, so
yes,
it makes sense. Yeah.
I do. I love being at home. And I remember I was just walking around the house, and literally it was just gentle, soft youth pastor. And I was like, what?
You're like, nah, I don't miss it.
Wait, what do you mean? And I knew, this is how I knew it was the Lord. I knew it was the Lord because I wouldn't have thought that for myself. Obviously, I wanted to do fashion design and musical theater. I wasn't
cool
thinking
stuff.
about ministry.
That's not,
what?
That's not his plan.
Right. I was
Wow.
that's okay.
Yeah.
maybe not me, maybe like somebody else. And I really had like a Jonah and Moses moment at the same time.
They pulled up.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that would be so cool to go back like in Moses' time. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew the ark is like low key. I get all my news from TikTok. I ain't gonna lie. So,
Not TikTok news.
But I saw TikTok and they said that Noah's Ark is still in Turkey, which is like the remains of it and
yeah.
stuff. So like, I did fun fact, y'all. So I just thought that was cool when I saw. I was like, no, I'm going to Turkey to go see that. That's great because it has like all the same
cool.
dimensions and stuff like in the Bible.
Yeah.
So look it up. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
So
That's cool. That's really cool.
that's cool that you heard God at such a young age. You know, I feel like not a lot of kids had that. You know what I mean? So that's cool. You're pretty like mature in your relationship with him, I guess, growing up. So that's
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
So what else would you say like as part of your testimony like that you want to share before I get into like my last like 2 questions I have for you?
I guess I would just say that I've seen the Lord's faithfulness on my life and how he's sustained not only me, but just like the people around me and people that I've like come in contact with that I know. And he's just been so faithful, and he's the same. Like he's the like
Yeah.
I just don't really know how to explain. He's just who he is. You know,
Yeah.
like he says in Exodus, "I am who I am." I mean, that's who he is. I mean, he is faithfulness. He is love. He is kindness. I mean, yeah.
Fruits of the Spirit.
Yes, exactly. Like he is those things. Like
Yeah.
that's how we can have it because
And he's always
we're in
with
him.
us no matter what.
Yeah.
Like you can be at the, like I said, the very bottom, low or the like real bad. Like
Yeah.
he's still there. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's how we relate a lot too. Is like we both had open heart surgery. I was missing one small little piece in my heart, and it was actually like 2 weeks after I was born. I think something around those lines, a few weeks after I was born. And yeah, they just said like, you know, your son needs surgery right away or else he'll die. Basically, it was that urgent. So I was missing some small piece in my heart, and I should know the name. I need to know the details, but I need to ask my dad more about it. I asked him a few weeks ago. I can't remember, but the heart's so complicated. You don't remember those terms.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, God saved me though, and one of the things the doctor said, like, I'll be really short. Growing up, I would be low key your height.
That's so funny.
Imagine me 5 foot. But no, I mean, I grew, and so that's why I tell people, you know, and the doctor said I would not be able to play sports, and I played basketball my whole life, so, and I'm 6'6" now, which is crazy. So yeah, it's a lot that like God like, you know, saved and helped me out with. So I think that's cool. And same with you, you know, but you have a normal height for a girl.
I think I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's not really, that doesn't really affect you. So, but yeah, I think that's really sick. But I guess for my last 2 questions here, I know this, like I said, this low key our second take. So I'm sorry about that, you know.
It's okay.
The camera, something went down with the camera. So, but anyways, so my question is, what's been an important Bible verse in your spiritual growth? How has it impacted you?
I would say Psalm 23 has been one that's just been on my heart recently, and just the words for "I am with you" have also been a part of my testimony, and just what the Lord has done and what he's doing and what he's going to do and what he's already done, what he's doing right now as we're talking.
Yeah. Psalm 23 is a big song.
Yes. And just the fact that he's like constantly with us, always with us, no matter what. He's so present, and I feel like that's something that just doesn't really, it gets overlooked a lot, is he actually is present. Like he's not far away. Like he is right with us.
I like Psalm 23 a lot. We read it a lot as a family. So, well, my family. But do you have any other verses that you want to share, or like anything else for the verses?
I would say, I think growing up, my favorite verse, I'm sure this was a lot of people's favorite verse growing up, but mine was Philippians 4:13.
Yeah. Probably one of the most famous verses, like John 3:16.
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that one a lot. I can do all things through Christ, right?
Yes.
Who strengthens me. I feel like that's a really good verse to know. Sorry. It'll help you through your lows, and even if you're doing well too in life, you know. I mean, you're supposed to thank God even if things are going well, too, you know, because that's where He helps you out more. So
Exactly. Yes.
I think that's really cool that those two are like what you consider. I guess that would be like your life verses, I guess, and your testimony verse. That I don't know if you know what a life verse is. It's just like basically we call it a life verse. It's like just a verse that like helps you out through everything in life. Mine is Jeremiah 29:11. So you know, for I know the plans I have for you, right? Declares the Lord. But I think that's cool. So my last question is for your testimony and stuff is what advice would you give someone watching this who is related to your story? And I'm curious myself, so.
Yes, I would say to abide in the Lord. And that goes back to John 15, where He talks about the branches and abiding in Him as I in you. And so they may know that the Father has sent His Son Jesus, and so that the world knows that we are His disciples. And so definitely abiding in the Lord, staying with the Lord no matter what, no matter the season, no matter the circumstance, even if you're doing really good or if you're doing really bad, staying with the Lord definitely helps. And seeking Him also is something that I think definitely gets overlooked too. Like actually being in the Word, like even if it's like one verse a day or like the verse of the day, like being in the Word helps a lot. And I think once you're in the Word and you're worshiping and you're spending time with other believers, like you'll start to see a shift in your life. And then lastly is remaining faithful. And I was literally thinking about this the other day. I was just kind of disappointed about like where I was at in life, and Lord was like, remember your why. And I was like, I was like, yes,
reminder
like,
pulled up.
Like, why am I doing this, Lord? You've called me to this, and like I'm remembering why you've called me to this. And I think that definitely like shifts the brain in a way where you're like, oh, like this is why I do what I do, you know, and this is why the Lord has put me here for such a time as this. And that's just remembering, and He'll tell you too. He'll be like, this is why.
Oh, He will.
This is why.
Yeah, I mean, I may have all these plans too, but I'm like, I can go into ministry too. I mean, I am kind of, but like, I could do like full time or something, you know. I mean, you could totally like change your plans. So you gotta like really remain faithful and like try to apply everything in your walk with Christ, right? Exactly. That's like our goal, is to spread the gospel and, you know, have a relationship with Him. So, but that's good advice. I feel like, that's cool. I feel like I learned a lot from you too on this episode, episode 11. We gotta hang out more, just to hang out. I know like you live far, so and I live far, and that's why we don't. But we text here and there and stuff. So that's cool. I'm glad we've always been like just family friends, you know. And thank you again for like coming by. No, and sorry again for this second take. I feel so bad.
It's okay. No, you're so
I was upset myself, just like not. Come on, bro. Like, you know.
And then there was me laughing it off. I was like, it's okay. I promise you it's okay.
At least you're kind of free today, so that's good.
Yes.
I know you're busy. You actually have a schedule, so that's crazy. I do too. Not like that. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's more relaxed, my schedule. But anyways, but yeah, thank you for coming to Dallas area. Well, for those of you know, I'm in Carrollton specifically, so nobody knows where Carrollton is. So that's why I say Dallas. Right. You know, D-Town. So, but thank you again for coming on episode 11.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I want to invite you to like more feature episodes if you're down, you know, we get planning in the future. But yeah, next episode will be episode 12. So, which is great. I don't know who's going to be on it or if it's going to be by myself, but, you know, I'm still grinding on this podcast. I really want to grow. And so far, I think this is also my calling as well. And I'm still learning every day, y'all. I'm not like a Bible professor or theologian or nothing. So I'm just doing this for fun, right now, and see where God takes me with it too. So that's my goal. But thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it. And tell your family I say hi as well.
I will, for sure.
And I hope they're doing well. But yeah, this is episode 11, and this is God Still Faithful? So yeah. And also I forgot. Do you want to shout out anything, or like your Instagram, or like your college, your ministry that you're trying to start up? Like,
let's see. I guess I'll shout out my Instagram.
Wait, and we're all ears. Please, go ahead.
Waiting. My Instagram is at Hannah M. Irby.
There you go. So
that's my Instagram.
We'll put that on the screen, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, go follow our Instagram. Go follow my Instagram as well.
Yeah.
John.com _ so, or On The Rise podcast _ I have 2 Instagrams. So, but yeah, anyways, it's episode 11, and thank you again, and we're out.
Yay.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye.